Welcome back to Reflect Politics. Democrats, of course, are enraged because Donald Trump and Elon Musk cut kids' cancer research from the budget so that they could afford themselves tax cuts and all of their wealthy friends' tax cuts, all the people who basically bought the 2024 election for the Republican Party and Donald Trump. They need to pay them back now. And so they're taking $200 million out of a program for kids' cancer research. So here we have Chris Hayes from MSNBC breaking down that program, and then we're going to get to the Democrats who are crying foul, rightfully so.
They cut nearly $200 million in funding for, ready for this, childhood cancer research called the Gabriella Miller Kids First Pediatric Research Program. That's what they cut. That program was established on a bipartisan basis under President Obama. Former Republican leader Eric Cantor was one of the driving forces behind it. Republicans tore the funding for that program out of the bill, seemingly at random, because Elon Musk told them to. So I want to be clear about what's happened, what's transpired in the last 24 hours, okay? The richest man in the world, worth $250 billion, took $190 million away from kids with cancer. That's not hyperbole. It's not exaggeration. That is what has happened.
Are marching America to a painful government shutdown that will crash the economy and hurt working class Americans because they would rather enact massive tax cuts for their billionaire donors than fund cancer research for children.
But we actually are now getting our first taste, this is it, live and in living color, about what it means to have this Doge right out here and what that's going to mean. And that's where Elon Musk's fingerprints are all over this. Because, for example, what this bill says is, oh, let's get rid of funding for research on pediatric cancer. Let's get rid of funding for research on early detection of cervical cancer and breast cancer. Let's get rid of funding for research on children with Down syndrome and on sickle cell anemia. Let's get rid of those things so that we can make way for tax cuts for billionaires. That is Elon Musk's notion of efficiency.
Some leading Democrats are calling Elon Musk President Musk or Co-President Musk. What is the White House's and President Biden's reaction to this labeling of Elon Musk, and whether or not House Republicans are listening more to this billionaire than the president-elect?
What I can say is congressional Republicans at the direction, and you all know this, you all reported this, of President Trump and Elon Musk are trying to pave the way. What they're doing is trying to pave the way for $5 trillion to our national debt. That's what this decision does. You're talking about with cuts for billionaires, slashing Social Security, slashing Medicare, slashing Head Start. Congressional Republicans did what they did because of what the president-elect said and what Elon Musk said. That's the reality. You guys all reported this. That's why we are where we are today. So this is for Speaker Johnson to fix. This is the mess that he created. He needs to fix this. Again, a bipartisan agreement. There is a bipartisan agreement. What Americans need to know is that you have Republicans in Congress, in the House, who got in a way, who stopped a bipartisan agreement. They got in the way. They created this mess. And I said this earlier when I said, and you all know this, or you report this, it is not easy to get to a bipartisan agreement here in this town. And there was one. Both sides sat down. They came to an agreement, which is a good thing for the American people. We thought we were moving in that direction. And Republicans decided to instead listen and give space to their billionaire friends and not put the American people first. That's what is happening. That's what we're seeing.
Will Democrats support these three bills? Will you? I mean, listen, I'm literally hearing about this in real time, so I can't give you an answer until I actually see what's in the legislation. And of course, this may not pass the House because all it takes is one tweet from a billionaire 15 minutes from now, and House Republicans will go running for the hills. Elon Musk, the Ramaswamy, they're in charge of our government right now, it seems, and so we have to wait to see what the billionaires think before we know whether this or any other package can pass the House of Representatives. Obviously, what happened in the last 48 hours is clear. Musk and Trump decided that they wanted to get some help passing their billionaire tax cut. And so they threatened to shut down the government unless we raised the debt ceiling, the amount of money that the government can borrow, so that it would be easier for them to pass a billionaire corporate tax cut. Trump seemed to be on board with the bill, but then when Musk opposed it, Trump followed suit. So that, to me, is a pretty clear story. The people you have to negotiate with, if you are Republican leadership in the House or the Senate, is not the incoming president of the United States, it's his billionaire overlords that were not elected and are frankly working with Trump because they want to protect their own interests. Why did Elon Musk not oppose the defense bill, which has loaded with lots and lots of spending, but oppose the continuing resolution? Maybe because his bread is buttered in the defense bill. That's where there are programs that help his businesses and pad his profits. So you have billionaires right now that seem to be in charge of Trump's policy and Trump's positions that are conflicted.
Well, Senator,
and that's a big deal for the whole country and for policymakers.
Well, Senator, on that
I think it's really important to explain to people the why. Right? Why is Donald Trump engaged in this relentless campaign to try to silence journalists, media companies, and his political opposition? It's because he's trying to steal from you. He and his friends are in charge of government because they want to rig the rules in order to make them even richer. The billionaires that are in charge of this cabinet want to be multi-billionaires. Donald Trump will never be satiated. He wants to steal from ordinary Americans in order to make him and his Mar-a-Lago friends even richer. And the reason that he wants to silence his critics and silence the media is that he doesn't want anybody to notice the kleptocracy that he is building. Unless you tell that story, right, how does it impact you, right? Because, I mean, does the average citizen really care about whether ABC News settles a lawsuit or not? No, but they do care